this is the system of equation miles per gallon. You have to set it up. Some of you are trying to answer it, which is fine. Some of you are answering by guessing through. I know you're guessing. So the first thing you have to realize is their equations. So vehicle A. So let's say vehicle A is equal to, let's say, y equals the equation. We know it has an 18-gallon tank. So the tank is 18 gallons. That will never change. How much gas the tank can hold will never change. What is changing is how many miles it gets per gallon. So it gets 23 miles per gallon. So to figure this out, I did the plus this one. It has to subtract. So about 18-gallon tank. Every mile I drive takes away something from the tank. Takes away 1 gallon. Well, it takes away so many gallons from the tank. So every mile, in this case, takes away 1 out of 23. So that's how much it averages. The average is 23. So it takes 1 out of 23. The second equation, so for vehicle B, it starts out, it has a 4 gallon tank, or 14.5 gallon tank, and it gets 31 miles per gallon. So from here, every time it drives, it takes away 1 out of 31 each mile. So here's my equation. Looks like whole numbers, but it's really a fraction. So let's go see what our solution is. So I'm going to start off with y equals, and I have an 18-gallon tank, and it's the more I drive, the less I'm going to have. So it's an 18-gallon tank. It's going to be divided by, we get 23 miles per gallon, so 1 out of 23. And that's an x value, so I put x next to it. So every time I drive, the tank is going down. So the more miles you drive, the least amount of oil you have less gasoline in the car. Does that make sense? The more you drive, less gas. So then I do y equals again. This other one has a 14.5 gallon tank, and it gets 31 miles per gallon. And put an x next to it. So here's my two equations. One is an 18-gallon tank that gets 23 miles per gallon, and one is a B is a 14.5 gallon tank that gets 31 miles per gallon. I have to see where they cross. And this is kind of crazy because it's going to be way out there. It's going to be in the hundreds somewhere. So here, this is where they're crossing. So they're crossing at roughly 311 miles. So that's where they meet. That's where the tanks, that's when they're going to have the same amount of fuel. You could set them equal to each other and solve it, but roughly around 311 to 312. So I'm going to say 305, well 308, closer to it. The other ones are too much, or too high. Right, and then any questions? Yeah, the other ones are definitely too high. So I need something around 308. And yes, there can be rounding here and there. So they would say around 300 and 311 miles, the two parts would be the same. Is it exact? No. Because the real world, when you get the decimals, fractions, all that other stuff. It's definitely not 335. 335 is too high. It's 20 miles too high. It's not going to be 451, so that's way too much. But you need to see where they cross. Are there any questions?